Andrew, thank you so much for this idea, for your collaboration, for your work, which we'll hear more about on Sunday. Welcome to CIIS. I'm Matt Siegel. I'm an associate professor here in the Philosophy, Cosmology, and Consciousness program. I'm curious how many of you are here at CIIS for the first time? Okay. How many of you are from outside of California? Anyone from overseas?
Most.
Okay, and Ian. Okay, well, welcome. You've come a long way, and we really appreciate it. This, as Andrew has said, has been a few years in the making. A lot goes on behind the scenes, but it's been remarkably serendipitous. So, something is the matter. And we've gathered this weekend to attempt to address it. It happens to be Good Friday. Ian humorously reminded us of that. But you know, for many, it's a day of mourning, of crucifixion, but also of great and transformative sacrifice. And it's not an inappropriate context for our conference. Our world is suffering. Nations are at war, with more threatening to join the fray. Earth itself is convulsing. A mass extinction of species is well underway, the sixth great mass extinction in Earth's history. Human civilization is teetering on the edge. You might say on one side there are transhuman delusions, and on the other side reactionary tribalisms, and so many more issues that we are facing. We're losing our way. We're threatened by other lies, nationalism, materialism. The list goes on. But who are we? Who are we? This is a quote that Ian begins his book with from Plotinus, the Enneads. We probably know more about ourselves. We know no more about ourselves today than in Plotinus's time, thousands of years ago. Why is that? Whatever we are, we're more than Americans or Brits, or more than a gender or a race. We're more than a pack of neurons hallucinating its way through a make-believe world. As Ian himself has made very clear, while his books are about the brain permits consciousness. It does not create consciousness. The brain is a portal and not a producer. We are more than our brains. And so it is not just a matter of becoming more right-brained, but of becoming more human. So we've assembled an all-star team of neuroscientists and psychologists, of physicists and biologists, philosophers, artists, theologians. This is an all-hands-on-deck situation. And Ian's work demands this kind of inter or even transdisciplinary engagement. Our conference speakers will attempt to look through the lenses that Ian has fashioned, and they'll also be looking through lenses of their own crafting in an attempt to perceive some ways forward. We may not have an easy answer as to why there is something rather than nothing, but we do know that our existence matters. We all feel it, even if we can't yet or may never be able to fully articulate why it matters. But the fact that we feel something is the matter already signals that some ideal alternative is possible. And this alternative is beckoning to us from beyond what's given. So we know this matters. We also know for certain, and it's perhaps the only thing we know for certain, that none of us is making out of this alive. That none of us is going to make it out of this life alive. And yet we make meaning anyway. We must. All of you are here, I assume, because you've been influenced by Ian's work, and because you're striving for what William James called something more. And I'm grateful to each of you for joining this effort. This is a collaborative conversational conference. We will have ample time for your contributions this weekend and from your contributions online as well. We may even have a little fun along the way. So with all that said, let me now introduce the man of the hour, the man of the weekend, Dr. Ian McGilchrist. Ian is a former fellow at All Souls College, Oxford. He is a fellow of the Royal College of Psychiatrists. He is a fellow of the Royal Society of Arts. He is a consultant emeritus of the Bethlehem and Maudsley Hospital in London. He's a former research fellow in neuroimaging at Johns Hopkins University Medical School in Baltimore. He's a former fellow of the Institute of Advanced Studies in Stellenbosch. He's also the author of the best-selling book, The Master and His Emissary, as well as more recently, The Matter with Things. I'm also lucky enough to count Ian as my friend. He's offering us a diagnosis. All civilizations rise and fall, but this time may be different. The wave of progress has grown higher and more massive, making our world more interconnected and more fragile than ever before. And we still have a chance. I know Ian well enough to know he's actually optimistic. The diagnosis that Ian has made suggests that the evil we face is not out there, it's not those other people, it's in ourselves. We must remember who we are. Ian, please.